Okay, folks, there's our future and our present. I was just told by Gail Atterbury, our executive director, that according to the guidelines given to us by Pioneer Courthouse Square, there are almost, could be, 7,000 people here today. Yes! That makes this far and away the largest pro-life event ever in the history of the state of Oregon. State Representative Sheri Sprenger was just elected to her first full term to the Oregon House. Sheri's road to political office was paved with many community activities, but the one closest to her heart, I would have to say, was the volunteer and board chair at the New Hope Pregnancy Center in Albany. It will be no surprise that this work is close to her heart, and now she holds a strategic position in the legislature to advocate on their behalf among her legislative colleagues, which is more important now than it ever has been. Sheri came from her home in Scio, and she's joined by her husband Kyle and her son Austin. Please welcome Representative Sprenger.
I am so encouraged by this crowd. I love looking out and seeing all these red signs. Thank you. Way to go, way to go. When my son was 1.5 years old, I began volunteering at my local pregnancy center. Within a year, I was serving on the board and eventually served as board chair. My time at New Hope Pregnancy Center changed me. I came to the center as a new mom, looking for a way to invest in my community, just like you. I left with a greater, deeper commitment to the sanctity of human life. I remember many times in board meetings hearing or saying, "We're the compassionate arm of the pro-life movement. Oregon Right to Life takes care of the politics." I was wrong. No longer can we place the bulk of the responsibility on the shoulders of one organization to advocate our pro-life stance. We all have a role in sharing and fighting for the rights of the unborn and the right for the pregnancy centers to serve the needs of women who find themselves in unplanned pregnancies. Yeah. This isn't about politics or what organization plays what role. This is about the responsibility each one of us has to take up the mantle for those who can't defend themselves. Well, politics have entered our PRCs. In 2007, there was legislation introduced that was clearly aimed at attacking pregnancy centers. I believe we may be facing that same legislation in this upcoming session. From the language in that bill, it is clear to me that some of our lawmakers simply do not know and understand the work we do, the work you do. They need to hear from you. Gail, Lois, and the others at Oregon Right to Life do a great job walking the halls of the Capitol, lobbying for the pro-life movement, but they can't do it alone. They must have your help. Call your representatives and senators. Don't just send them an email. Take time to sit down and chat with them. You have, hear me, you have the most powerful voice with your legislator. When you meet with them, come prepared to share facts. Be prepared. Contact Lois and Gail and share your experience. I believe the majority of lawmakers are unfamiliar with what actually goes on in a pregnancy center. You need to educate them. Bring them copies of some of your informational material. Invite them to a center. Prepare for the visit. Show them what you do. Nobody is better equipped to educate the legislature on this issue than those of you that serve in pregnancy centers. Offer yourself as a resource to them. What I know, and many of my colleagues don't know, many of them, is that PRCs are very carefully managed organizations that go to great lengths to serve their clients in a very professional, fact-based, non-judgmental way. Don't hesitate to share the very practical benefits of PRCs. As legislators, sometimes we tend to get bogged down in all the details. And this is your opportunity to share with them. They fill a need. Let them know that PRCs fill a need without using a cent of taxpayer dollars. Centers help connect clients with local service that most often are provided by nonprofits and private entities. They support families in their choice to become healthy, thriving, contributing members of our society and our communities. I remember a young mom who came to us nearly 10 years ago with an unplanned pregnancy. She went through our parenting classes, who I actually happened to teach at that time, took advantage of every service we provided, and was hungry to improve her life. I personally helped connect her with Habitat for Humanity. I still see that woman nearly 10 years later around town. She has a happy, healthy, thriving family and is a contributor to her community. You know where I see her and her kids most often? The library. By the way, the last time I drove by her Habitat for Humanity home, her minivan was still parked in the driveway. This woman's story started when she walked through the doors of a pregnancy resource center. Let me share a brief story in closing. When my son was 4 years old, our PRC was having a walkathon. He had seen me ask just about everybody I came in contact with to sponsor me. In terms a 4-year-old could understand, I simply explained that I was walking for babies. One day, the UPS man delivered a package to our home. As I closed the door, my son looked up to me. With disappointment in his eyes, he said, "Mom, you didn't tell him we're walking for babies." With the same pure, simple vision and boldness of a 4-year-old, let us go and advocate and serve and share, and yes, in the words of a 4-year-old, walk for babies. Thank you.